from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, a very good evening to you and welcome to the National News telecast coming to you live from the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, bringing you your top stories for tonight. I'm Sonal Paranavithana.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Sharifa Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines.
Export earnings of Sri Lanka marks a significant increase since the commencement of this year. Dangerous Narcotics Prevention Week to commence from the 1st of March. A review committee to sort out problems related to coal. Former Inspector of Police Jagat Nishanta required in connection with the shooting incident at W15 Hotel taken into custody. Tulhiriya Methylia factory not to be closed down. Government decides to offer the pension allowance for officers who joined government service after 1st of January 2016. More than 500,000 tourist visits from January to 12th of February to Sri Lanka. Mirissa and Bentota among top 10 beaches of Asia. Violence erupted across Mexico after the death of the drug cartel leader.
And let's move on with the top local story for tonight. The total export income has increased to $1,532.6 million during the month of January this year.
Export Development Board pointed out that this has been an increase of 13.71% compared to last year.
Export income of commercial goods has reached $1,165.2 million during January this year. This has been an increase of 10.66% compared to the month of January last year. An income of $367.55 million has also been recorded as income in the service sector. The highest income of the export of commercial goods in January has been earned from exporting tea, coconut rubber, food and beverages, electrical and electronic appliances, seafood and other export crops. Information technology sector has provided the highest income of service sector. Highest number of exports has been sent to countries such as India, United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Canada, Australia, Belgium, Mexico, Hong Kong and Switzerland.
Chairman of
the Export Development Board, Mangal Vijay Singh, said that the expectation for 2026 is to maintain export growth at a level of 10 to 12% throughout the year. He stated that nearly 140 programs have been planned to be implemented each month this year in order to achieve this target. He also noted that after a lapse of 14 years, preparations are underway to hold Sri Lanka Expo 2026, the country's premier export exhibition. The chairman expressed hope that the exhibition would attract the world's top buyers. He said the event is scheduled to take place from June 18 to 21st at the Ratnayake Memorial International Conference Hall in Colombo. In addition, he said an investment forum will be held in Sri Lanka on June 10th, which he described as potentially the largest, most attractive investment forum ever hosted in the country. He added that the aim is to bring leading global investors to Sri Lanka. He further stated that by facilitating direct engagement between exporters and top international buyers and investors, new opportunities could be created to further expand exports. The chairman emphasized that with nearly 140 programs planned for this year, the board is expecting export growth and new transformation in the export sector.
The government has taken steps to implement a Dangerous Narcotics Prevention Week, parallel to the national operation A Nation United. It is expected to commence on the 1st of next month. Police media spokesman, Assistant Superintendent of Police F.U. Woodler expressed his views to the media regarding the national operation A Nation United. Police media spokesman, Assistant Superintendent of Police F.U. Woodler said that anti-narcotics operations had been significantly intensified, with authorities carrying out more than 1.5 million personal searches so far this year. He stated that through these searches, police had apprehended 1,036 suspects wanted for various crimes, along with 24,813 individuals who had open warrants and court-issued summons against them. He further noted that 29 suspects who were subject to red notices had been extradited to Sri Lanka, adding that police were continuing to work patiently and diligently on 89 additional red notices in an effort to bring those individuals back into the country. He also revealed that substantial progress had been made in seizing and freezing criminal assets. In 2024, property worth over 1.4 billion rupees had been taken into police custody, while in 2025, assets amounting to 1.5 1.49 billion rupees had been seized. In the first 1.5 months of 2026 alone, property worth 50 million rupees had already been frozen, deactivated or taken over by the government. Commenting on the double homicide in Akurekoda, he said that 5 individuals, including the main shooter, had been arrested within 3 days of the incident. He added that approximately 80% of the investigation had been completed and resolved.
A committee to review problems related to coal will be appointed by the government. During the cabinet media briefing held today, Minister Dr. Nalindra Jayatissa pointed out that coal has been imported following proper procurement guidelines. Cabinet media spokesman Minister Dr. Nalindra Jayatissa said that the current tender process has been carried out strictly in line with procurement guidelines, unlike the procedure followed between 2009 and 2015 under the previous administration. He alleged that during that period, a specific tender process had been halted midway, and following a cabinet decision, the contract had been awarded to a single company. In some instances, contracts had been granted outside the formal tender framework at prices lower than those quoted during the tender process. The minister said that in contrast, the present tender had ensured transparency and that all 10 suppliers who participated were satisfied with how it had been conducted. Explaining the technical evaluation process, he said Sri Lanka accepted shipments if the load port report indicated a calorific value exceeding 5,900 calories. However, if the unloading port test showed a value below 5,900, a double penalty was imposed. A single penalty was applied if the value ranged between 5,900 and 6,150, while shipments exceeding 6,150 were accepted without issue. He added that steps had also been taken to verify the laboratory issuing the load port reports that the penalties were imposed in accordance with existing laws and regulations. He stated that an expert committee had been tasked with conducting a further study. He also remarked that such issues would not have emerged if the work had been handled properly over the past 15 years.
Former Inspector of Police Jagat Deshanta, required in connection with the shooting incident at the W15 Hotel Veligama in 2023, was taken into custody yesterday when he arrived in the island after staying abroad. During the shooting incident occurred on the 31st of December 2023, a police official lost his life. Former Inspector General of Police Deshabandhu Tennakon was also alleged regarding his connection with this incident. The suspect has been taken into custody while the Criminal Investigation Department was conducting investigations in this regard.
The government has decided to provide pension rights to the officials who joined the public service after the 1st of January 2016. Accordingly, conditions mentioned in their appointment letters are scheduled to be amended. The Cabinet has granted approval to amend the relevant clause of the appointment letters given to the public officials recruited on the 1st of January 2016 and after. Hereafter, the new clause should be included in the appointment letters of public officials. An announcement issued by the Secretary of the Ministry, Public Administration, it is stated the new regulations should be followed for the appointment letters that have been issued already. This new amendment has been made according to the 2026 budget proposals.
Now, 3 newly appointed ambassadors designate presented their letters of credence to President Anurakumara Dissanayake at the Presidential Secretariat today. Accordingly, the ambassador designate of the Republic of Cuba to Sri Lanka, Patricia Lazara Pegogura, Hamad Mohamed Abdullah Al-Sanad Al-Dosari, the ambassador-designate of the state of Qatar to Sri Lanka, and Tomasz Mensin, the ambassador-designate of the Republic of Slovenia to Sri Lanka, resident in New Delhi, presented credentials to the President. Following the presentation of credentials, the President engaged in a cordial discussion with the newly appointed ambassadors. The Minister of Foreign. Meanwhile, Professor Susiripala Manavadu, who has been appointed as the new governor of the southern province, took his oath in the presence of President Anurakumara Dissanayake today. Accordingly, in terms of Article 154B of the Constitution, the appointment has been made with effect from today. Professor Manavadu currently serves as Vice Chairman of the State Advisory Subcommittee on Radio, Newspapers and Social Media of the Arts Council of Sri Lanka. He has previously served as the Head of Department of Sinhala at the University of Ruhuna and as Senior Assistant Librarian of the University of Ruhuna. MAS Holdings says the controversial Metliya garment factory belonging to the MAS Holdings in Tulhiriya will not be closed. Issuing a communique, the company says the relevant factory will only focus to manufacture textiles. The factory has taken this decision due to the continuous shrinking in the apparel sector. Accordingly, the Metliya factory will only conduct weaving, dyeing and finishing of textiles in high production capacity. Manufacturing apparel products of this factory will be shifted to other factories of the MAS Holdings. The staff, about 2,200 members in Metliya factory, are able to join the other garment factories of the MAS Holdings according to their will. Otherwise, they will be able to join the MAS Holdings factory located in Jordan. MAS Holdings further said that in addition, 3 months' salary will be paid to the employees as an incentive. In case of any employee does not agree with these management decisions or decide to resign, they will be paid a compensation more than the amount scheduled to according to the existing law of the country.
Subhabita Gitaye Situvarayano Dr. Victor Ratnayake Abhinandanabhishekaya felicitation function was held in the morning today at the Kumaratunga Munidasa studio of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation in appreciation of the contribution rendered to Sinhala music by veteran iconic singer Victor Ratnayake. The function was led by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. The function was arranged in appreciation of the commendable service rendered by Dr. Victor Ratnayake to the Sinhala music domain of this country for more than 6 decades and to the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. A photograph of Dr. Victor Ratnayake was also unveiled at the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation premises as tributes to him. He has compiled thousands of songs for his fans. Dr. Victor Ratnayake excelled in both classical and popular Sinhala music. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya commended programs of this nature conducted by Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation in appreciation of the services rendered by living veterans of arts field of this country. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that she had grown up throughout her life listening to the music of Victor Ratnayake, noting that it was through his songs that she developed an interest in the Sinhala language. She stated that Kurullanta Gi Gayana was a song she deeply loved, adding that they were truly fortunate to have had the opportunity to experience it live, listen to it and enjoy it as fans, which she described as one of the greatest blessings they had received. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, Professor Udita Gayashan Gunasekara, said that Victor Ratnayake is a unique identity in broadcasting and a true ornament to the art of broadcasting songs. He said that Victor Ratnayake served as a bridge connecting the sophisticated and the popular within the rich and melodious Sri Lankan musical landscape. Minister of Buddhisasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, Dr. Hiniduma Sunil Senavi, Deputy Minister of Mass Media, Dr. Kaushalya Aryaratna, Chairman of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, Professor Udita Gayashan Gunasekara, artists, family members of Dr. Victor Ratnayake, along with a large number of fans, attended the occasion. Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath reaffirmed Sri Lanka's commitment to building a world free of destructive weapons. He stated this while participating online in the high-level segment of the Conference on Disarmament, which commenced in Geneva yesterday.
On humanitarian disarmament, Sri Lanka continues to be an active partner in humanitarian demining and currently serves as a senior member of the Victim Assistance Committee of the Anti-Personnel Mine Ban Convention. Sri Lanka is cognizant of the impact of emerging technologies which have already changed the face of the current global disarmament architecture while putting international humanitarian law at a grave risk. Sri Lanka has been advocating for the early commencement of negotiations on a legally binding instrument to prohibit lethal autonomous weapons systems. We believe that the outcome of the 7th Review Conference of the Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons to be held later this year would be a vital importance in addressing the challenges posed by lethal autonomous weapon system while identifying the growing threats to outer space security from the rapid advancements in space technologies. Sri Lanka, as a long-standing partner in outer space disarmament, continues to support the negotiation of a legally binding instrument preventing an arms race in outer space. Sri Lanka believes that the relevance of the CD must be reaffirmed as a vital forum for rebuilding trust among nations. I wish to reiterate that Sri Lanka stands ready to work with all nations to ensure that global efforts to secure a safer world for our future generations are pursued vigorously and realized at the earliest possible.
The conference on disarmament, which began yesterday, will be held in Geneva, Switzerland until the 27th. Morocco holds the presidency this time. Sri Lanka has been a member since 1978.
Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa states that a National Operations Committee is to be established to implement government-planned housing programs under a nationally integrated framework. The minister shared these remarks during the press briefing held today at the Department of Government Information to announce cabinet decisions.
Under the government's national housing policy, nearly 100 billion rupees has been allocated for the construction of new housing units within this year. Accordingly, the proposal to establish the Operations Committee to implement the current national housing policy was presented by President Anurukumar Dissanayake. Plans are also underway to introduce new legal provisions to regulate private security agencies and personnel employed in the security sectors of both public and private institutions effectively and efficiently. Accordingly, the Cabinet approved the proposal presented by the President to introduce these new legal policies for tasks such as training security personnel, registering and cancelling licenses of private security agencies, and issuing firearm license. Cabinet approval was also granted to update and amend the national tariff policy to eliminate complexities and ensure alignment with the policy provisions by statutory requirements. This was also a proposal submitted by President Anurukumar Dissanayake. A cooperation agreement is scheduled to be signed between Sri Lanka Export Development Board and the Import Promotion Bureau of Germany. This initiative aims to enhance sustainability and facilitate imports from developing countries to Europe. Accordingly, the Cabinet approved the proposal presented by Minister Sunil Handunetti to sign the proposed cooperation agreement between the two parties. Cabinet approval has been granted to purchase 75 motor graders. This proposal was presented by President to award the contract to a sum of 1,424 million rupees received by Cabinet endorsement. Furthermore, Cabinet approval was granted to present legislation to Parliament regarding the repatriation of export earnings to the country. This proposal was also submitted by the President. The road section from Keralapiti Expressway entrance to Alakantha Road, located within the Keralapiti Industrial Zone, where several government projects are being implemented, is said to be developed. The Cabinet approved the proposal presented by Minister Bimal Ratnayake for this purpose.
Violence erupted across several states in Mexico after cartel leader El Mencho killed today. Mexican security forces have been deployed to counter the violence carried out by the drug cartel members. Authorities officially confirmed that El Mencho died during a special operation conducted in Mexico's Jalisco province. El Mencho was regarded as one of Mexico's most powerful drug traffickers as well as the leader of the organized crime group known as Jalisco New Generation Cartel. Furthermore, he was a drug trafficker urgently wanted not only by Mexican security forces but also by United States authorities. Last week, security forces carried out a special operation to arrest El Mencho, raiding a safe house located in the town of Tapalpa in Jalisco province. During the fierce exchange of gunfire that erupted in the operation, El Mencho sustained serious injuries and reportedly died while being airlifted to Mexico City for treatment. Following news of his death, the enraged drug cartel members have created a violent situation by blocking main roads and setting vehicles on fire in about 20 provinces across the country. In the face of escalating violence, the Mexican authorities have confirmed that about 25 members of of the national security forces have been killed, while 30 cartel members have also been killed in these clashes. As a wave of violence continues to spread, thousands of troops have been deployed to strengthen security. The Mexican authorities have indicated that approximately 9,500 troops have been deployed across the country, including an additional 2,500 soldiers sent to western Mexico. The United States government has expressed its appreciation regarding the killing of drug trafficker El Mencho. The U.S. authorities have indicated that this is a fatal blow to international drug trafficking. In a joint statement issued by the U.S. State Department and the Department of Justice, it was said that bringing an end to the leader of the Jalisco cartel, who for years smuggled deadly drugs into the United States, represents the delivery of justice.
Sri Lanka emerges as the world's premier destination for expatriates seeking a distinguished retirement at an unrivaled price point. The nation has ascended to the pinnacle of this global listing in the 35th Annual Retirement Index released by International Living, a prestigious publication boasting 4 decades of expertise in global relocation. It is highly significant that Sri Lanka has outpaced traditional favorites such as Vietnam and Thailand, securing a near-perfect score of 98 plus points in the critical categories of cost of living, healthcare infrastructure and residential comfort. According to the latest analytics, a retired foreign couple can embrace a truly luxurious lifestyle in Sri Lanka for approximately $2,200 per month. Furthermore, an individual operating within a standard budget can comprehensively cover accommodation, gourmet dining, healthcare and transportation for a mere $1,000 monthly. Sri Lanka, which boasts 13 UNESCO-recognized heritage sites and breathtaking coastlines, has captivated international interest largely due to its seamless and accessible visa system. The International Living Report reserved special praise for the elite private healthcare facilities within Colombo City and the exceptionally affordable public transport network spanning the island.
The number of foreign tourists visiting the country since the beginning of 2026 has exceeded 500,000. According to the Tourism Development Authority, this influx was recorded between January 1st and February 12th. During this period, 505,751 foreign tourists arrived in the country. Between February 1st and February 22nd, 2026, arrivals reached 228,424. Notably, weekly tourist arrivals exceeded the 70,000 mark during each of the past 3 weeks. Specifically, 70,355 tourists arrived in the first week of February, 77,870 in the second week, and 71,101 in the third week. Among the visitors, the highest number were Indian nationals, totaling 89,277. The Tourism Development Authority stated that the arrivals also included over 55,000 British nationals, over 45,000 Russians, over 35,000 Germans, and more than 31,000 Chinese nationals.
Mirissa and Bentota beaches of Sri Lanka have been officially named among the 10 best beaches of Asia by Traveller's Choice Best of the Best ratings of 2026, published by TripAdvisor website, which won the trust of millions of tourists world over. With this unique achievement, Sri Lanka has once again been marked as a prominent destination in the world tourism map. Mirissa Beach has secured the 5th place in Asia according to ratings issued based on the content of millions of tourists. The beach, located on the southern coast, has earned the tourist attraction due to its magnificent sunset scenery around Coconut Tree Hill area and the golden sands of the beach. Meanwhile, Bentota Beach has occupied the 7th place out of 10 best beaches of Asia, is famous as a beach suitable for water sports and a tranquil beach line. The best of the best credit name for Sri Lanka will further enhance international tourist arrivals to the island.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism Vijita Herath met Mahamandeshwar Swami Kaleshandanand Giriji Maharaj, head of the Sri Panch Agni Akhada of Ayodhya, India yesterday, who is currently undertaking a visit from the 23rd to the 27th of February to Sri Lanka. Swami Kailashana Anand Giriji Maharaj, a prominent spiritual leader associated with the Mahakumbh, is leading a delegation comprising of clergy and lay representatives. During their stay in Sri Lanka, the delegation is scheduled to visit several historically and religiously significant sites, including Nuwara, Jaffna, Trincomalee and other important pilgrimage destinations across the country. The visit reflects the deep-rooted historic, spiritual and cultural ties between Sri Lanka and India, built upon centuries of shared religious heritage and civilizational links. The minister noted that such exchanges contribute meaningfully to strengthen the people-to-people connections and enhancing religious and cultural tourism between the two nations. The minister further observed that the visit presents a valuable opportunity to promote Sri Lanka as a destination for spiritual and heritage tourism, particularly among Indian devotees, while reinforcing long-standing Indo-Sri Lankan cultural relations. Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath met with Minister of State and Foreign Affairs of Portugal, Paulo Rangel, in Colombo today. During the meeting, they engaged in productive and wide-ranging discussions on matters of mutual interest, including trade, investment, tourism, cultural exchange, and multilateral cooperation. They also exchanged views on regional and global issues of mutual concern. Both expressed confidence in imparting a new momentum to bilateral ties and further strengthening the long-standing relations between the two countries. Saudi Royal Embassy in Sri Lanka held an iftar festival at the Golfes Hotel in Colombo yesterday. This has been organized by the Saudi Arabian ambassador in Sri Lanka, Khalid bin Hamoud Al Khattani. Deputy Minister Munir Mulafar graced this occasion as the chief guest. This was held for representatives of Islamic universities, schools, institutions, imams and orators of the mosques. Funeral of the former Commissioner of Archaeology, late Vidya Jyoti Dr. Raja de Silva, was held today. He was 101 years of age at the time of demise. He had rendered a priceless service to the research and conservation of archaeological heritage of this country and academic documentation. He had made a significant contribution to restore the historic frescoes in Sigiriya at the time a certain element had splashed a chemical over them in 1967. Dr. Raja de Silva, along with the Italian expert Luciano Marenci, contributed immensely to restore the frescoes without causing any damage to the natural colors of the paintings. Their attempt was decisive to continue Sigiriya frescoes as World Heritage for the future generation. Minister Dr. Hiniduma Sunil Senavi was also there to pay his last respects to the late archaeologist.
Taking a look at the weather situation, the Met Department says showers or thunder showers are expected at several locations in the southern province and in the Ratnapura, Monaragala and Kalutara districts after 2 p.m. Mainly fair weather will prevail across the rest of the island, while misty conditions are likely in the early morning parts of the central, Sabaragamuwa, western and northwestern provinces and in the Anuradhapura, Galle, Matara, Monaragala, Mena and Vaunia districts.
Colombo Stock Exchange ended today's trading negatively. The all share price index closed at 23,690.62 after falling by 92.40 points, which represents a 0.39% change. The S&P SL20 index closed at 6,681.12, down by 47.59 points and 0.71%. Total market capitalization at the close of trading stood at 8.391 trillion rupees. Market turnover for the day amounted to 3.689 billion rupees with 152.59 million shares traded. Moving on to news overseas, India reduces dividend tax for major French investors after revising its decades-old tax treaty with France. The move is aimed at boosting investment and strengthening economic ties between the two countries. Under the amended agreement, French companies holding at least a 10% stake in Indian firms will pay 5% tax on dividends, down from 10%. Investors holding less than 10% will face a higher 15% rate. The revised pact also allows India to tax capital gains from certain share sales and removes the most favored nation clause following a 2023 ruling by the Indian Supreme Court. The announcement comes days after French President Emmanuel Macron met Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where both sides pledged deeper economic cooperation. The move is expected to benefit companies including Sanofi, Renault and L'Oreal, which have expanded operations in India. Beyond the dividend adjustments, the protocol introduces a service permanent establishment clause refining the threshold for taxing cross-border consultancy and technical services. By aligning with the base erosion and profit-shifting standards, the amendment curbs aggressive tax planning while providing a stable fiscal runway for long-term industrial projects. Moving on to sports news, the second match of the Super 8 round of T20 World Cup cricket tournament of Sri Lanka will be played against New Zealand tomorrow.
Sri Lanka has to win this match in order to qualify to the semi-finals of the tournament. Players of both the teams preparing for tomorrow's game engaged in net practices at the R. Premadasa International Cricket Stadium today. Under the Super 8 round of Group 2, Sri Lanka tasted a defeat of 51 runs against England. Tomorrow's opponents, New Zealand, were due to play against Pakistan in the first match of the Super 8 round but was abandoned due to rain. 28 T20 internationals were played between Sri Lanka and New Zealand so far, and New Zealand won 16 matches while Sri Lanka managed to win 11 matches out of them. A match ended without a decision. And with that, we wind up tonight's news telecast coming to you from the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, and it's me, Sonal and Sharifa, signing off until we see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a very good night.
Have a pleasant night.